everyone. This morning we are speaking with Corliss Wood, the owner of Clutter Corrections by Corliss. And I had it wrong. Good morning, Corliss. How are you?
Good morning, Margot. I'm doing well. No complaints here.
Okay. Well, put me out there. Tell everybody what I did with your name because I was Clutter Collections.
Yeah, she had me under clutter collections, and I'm like, I don't collect clutter, I correct clutter. So, clutter corrections by Corliss.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about you. What made you start this business?
Well, organizing has been a part of my life all of my life. I was born to organize. I had started at a very, very young age. I didn't know that that was probably my sole purpose in life.
Oh,
But as I went along in my career as a healthcare professional, radiology to be exact, I was constantly correcting some kind of clutter, whether it was during my management years, going in and making changes in departments or whatever the case was. But my whole life has been a a what do you want to call it? My whole life has been part of organizing something in life. So moving forward, jumping 30 years forward, I chose to, after I had a 30-year career in healthcare, I chose to jump and start my own business. And organizing has, like I said, been a part of my life, all of my life. And I chose to make it a business. And that's where it was birthed actually in 2008. And I chose to step back into corporate America for a while. And when 2019 came, there was an opportunity for me to take that leap forward and do what I wanted to do. And so here I am. Clutter Corrections by Corliss came back into life and is back in operation.
so you've been doing this all your life anyway, and it's just a natural thing
Yes,
for you. So you're really a
yes.
neat freak. Is that what we're calling you, a neat freak?
I don't know that whether I call me a neat freak. I would just simply say that Corliss' philosophy is that everything has a home. Everything in your home has a home. And that's so if that's a neat freak, then I'll accept that.
Okay. Well, I didn't mean it as a derogatory term. I said it with
Oh,
all the love in my heart.
oh no, never taken that way. Not at all. I no, I probably am probably more neat than
Most people.
maybe.
I got to tell you, I looked at your video on your website
Hmm.
about how to fold a folded sheet.
Hmm.
Oh my goodness, it's made all the difference in the world. I had no idea. That was really clear. And how did you come up? I mean, is that something that you came up with yourself, or I'm just wondering how you know how to fold stuff?
Well, folding a fitted sheet has always been a challenge. And when I was young, my mom did not know how to fold a fitted sheet. And she would just kind of roll it and put it in the
Yep.
linen closet. And I didn't learn really super young, but I did learn well before I got into my 20s. A neighbor who had 5 children, and she was very strict about how the sheets were to be folded. She taught me how to fold a fitted sheet. And from there forward, I have always folded my sheets like that. So I've taught a lot of people how to fold fitted sheets. And there are two keys to that. When you watch the video, it will help individuals understand what those two keys are to folding the fitted sheet. And I'll just tell you one trick right now. You got to get those corners, all four of them in one corner. That's one key. You'll have to watch the video for the next key. But there are two keys to getting your fitted sheet folded in a way that you can fit it in your linen closet, any linen closet.
It really is amazing because if I can do it, trust and believe anybody can do it. That is not my forte. I was amazed. And you're right, because the putting all the corners in the same place, never would I thought of that. But we're getting
Right.
ahead of ourselves. Tell me a little bit. You said you started in 2019. You had an opportunity to start. So tell me what precipitated that and how you really started. And another thing was, when you started, was it the way you thought it was going to be? Or did you come up with some challenges like, oh my goodness, I'm not ready for this?
No, it started the way I wanted it to be. Initially starting any business, like I said, it started back in 2008, and I really wasn't quite ready to take the plunge at that time. So when I did it this time, I had already really done some research and had figured out, quite a bit in that period between 2008 2019. So it was a lot easier to get started. And I chose this business because it has always been my passion. And I didn't realize it until 2008, but moving forward, it just really was what I do well. And I want to be sure that other people have, and I can share that gift with them to get them organized. And not only do I just go in and organize, but I really do take the time to teach people how to stay organized. It's not something that you just do one time and then your house is just beautiful and perfect. It is like exercising. You can't develop muscle unless you lift some weights or unless you do some working out. And the same thing with organizing. You have to do it every day. You can't let it build up or then it becomes overwhelming. And then that's when people call me because they can't handle it. And I understand that part. I mean, even me as an organized person, I can become overwhelmed with, if I've got to do 2 weeks, back in the day when I had my children, if I had to do 2 weeks worth of laundry because we took a vacation, I found that to be a little bit overwhelming because I was used to do my laundry every day to make sure that I didn't get overwhelmed with any of that kind of task. So I really like the part about being able to teach people how to be organized and the keys to staying organized. So
That's an interesting point because I was going to ask you who are your clients? I mean, people who are moving or people who are just overwhelmed because they're junky or who calls you?
I get a call from an array of people that are, have different situations. And like I've talked about before, there are different chapters in our lives where we live. Sometimes we're single. I work with single people who don't really have to be accountable to what they're, who's in their home and what they're doing. And so sometimes they tend to be exactly how they are. They come very clean and neat and tidy, or they're sometimes very messy and they just want some help. So sometimes people will call me just to say, I need your expertise on this. And those are, I help teach them how to stay that way. I show them kind of some different things to do. Other times I'll have people who moved in together who are, either married, not married, whatever the case is, but they will, moving households in together. And they've got to be able to work with the the idea that one person may be messy, one person may be neat, and how they can work that out together. So they'll call me for some help. And you've got, the empty nesters who are now don't have any children and they want to repurpose their house and they want to redo some things and repurpose the children's room. So I'll go through with them on how to, help their children take some of their things onto their own nest. And those things that the parents may choose to keep, I'll have them put that, maybe in a bin or so for each child and put that away. Then I have some seniors that I work with, a lot of seniors I work with who are downsizing. They're either going to move into a different type of home style, a senior living quarters, or they're moving in with a loved one, or they simply want to stay in their home and they want to get their house organized so their children don't have to do it later on, maybe after they passed away or decided to do something different. Their children don't have to do that. So I'll put the emphasis on the last two chapters that I talked about that I really work very closely with. And they tend to be the bulk of the people that I work with, but I do work with a lot of different people. And there are some situations that I don't service. So that would be hoarding situations, because that's a really different environment. And I'm real careful that I make sure that they are really well taken care of by somebody who has that expertise. And I don't provide house cleaning. And So those are just some of the things that I don't do.
But you are definitely a professional organizer.
Definitely.
Okay. Clutter collection, because you don't collect clutter.
No, I don't collect clutter. I correct clutter.
Okay. I'm going to put you on the spot here and ask you about your most challenging client today in terms of what they had for you to do.
Oh, let's see. You know, I'll be perfectly honest with you, Margot.
Oh, you're on top of
I
stuff. Go on,
am
Carlos.
I am a person who really likes a challenge.
Ooh.
And so I've had people bring me challenges that they say nobody could help me. Or I've had people say, I hope you're up for this because, I can't do it. And so nobody can do it. And I'm very challenge driven. So there's not too much that I can't handle. I did have one situation with the potential client who did want me to work with them, but we were sort of challenged from the beginning. I have to wear shoes when I work. It's a liability for me not to, and they didn't want me to be in the home with my shoes on, and I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. I can't do that. I have to work with shoes on my feet. So that was the beginning of a challenge that didn't work out well for me. So
What about if you had put on booties? Would that have worked?
no, no, because they had these different types of floor coverings that were, I think, they're very delicate, and so he didn't want me to have any shoes on when I was working. Socks I could have on, but not shoes, and that's just too much of a liability, so I couldn't do it.
So you're licensed and bonded, is that correct?
I am.
And is that necessary or is that just an extra step that you took?
It Well, you know what? In every business, the business owner has to make decisions about those things, and I chose to be licensed and bonded. That's very important to me. I want to protect myself, and I want to be able to protect the client that I'm working with. I'm very, very careful, but as we know, anything can happen, and so you want to be sure that those things are taken care of. And so, yes, I am bonded and insured.
I love this. Okay. So I call you up. I'm just messy. Okay. So I call you up and I say, Corliss, gosh, I mean, I'm not a hoarder, but I'm
Okay.
messy and I want to get I want to get my life together and everything. What's the process? What do I need to do? And we'll talk about that later, but what's the process? How do you work with me?
So when someone gives me a call and they say, I've got your information from a friend of mine, or I saw you on the website, or wherever they may have found me, I will do an intake form with them. I'll go over a series of questions and just try to get to know them over the phone, try to understand their situation. And I can understand that by asking several questions. And they explain to me what they are looking for, what their timeline is. And then I'll ask them to send me some photos, or sometimes we'll do a video chat or a FaceTime, and they can show me around so I can get a better understanding of what I'm dealing with. There are many times when it's because my specialty, and I didn't say this earlier, my specialty is full home organizing. When it comes to that, I really need to see the entire home, because anybody can take a video of where they are, but it's important for me to open up the doors and look through the nooks and crannies of what might be underneath the stairs, the closet that may be full, or then there may be a closet that's not full. I need to be able to see all those areas, because that's what tells the story of what is really going on. We can talk, when we're talking over the phone, we can tell people, oh, I'm not really messy. And that may be very well, may be true, but I need to see what your idea of not being really messy actually looks like, so that I can make a better call on what actually needs to be done. And then we can sit down and have a very good conversation about, all the things that need to be taken care of, why, and how what my approach is. and how we're going to work together and how we're going to execute this. So it's really important. So most of the time I will go to an individual's home and I'll be able to assess the situation there, be able to know what the story is behind it, and that's how I can better help them. I can't just walk into a home and boom, boom, start working because I don't know their story. I don't know how they got here and what I need to do. Sometimes it's just, people were very neat and very tidy and something happened in life. They went through a life transition. It could have been a loss of a loved one. It could have been a divorce. It could have been a multiple number of things could have happened. And they've kind of lost everything. And now they've gotten some help and now they're ready to get their life back in order. So they've called me, and that way I know their story. So without knowing their story, it's very hard for me to be able to help them truly from the heart. And that's where I want to bring it from.
That's incredible because once again on your website, I realized, and I didn't know this, that you also offer virtual reorganizing.
Now, I do virtual sessions, but my virtual sessions are never going to be full home organizing ever.
Okay.
They're always going to be smaller areas that may need to be done. I do virtual organizing sessions as a group, linen closet organizing, generally once a month. And I will have ladies or men or whoever wants to come on, and they will bring their organizing project on to the group. It's a working session, and we will all see each other's closets, everything. I don't record this, so it doesn't go out to anybody else. The only people that are on there it's a group. So it's a very trusted group of people. We get on and we look at each other's closets, and then we go to work. So what I'll do is if I have, usually I have 4 or 5 people on, and I will look at their situation and we'll talk about what they want to achieve during this session. And if it means that they want to learn how to fold a fitted sheet, then I will fold a fitted sheet for them. And then I will have them fold all of their fitted sheets while we're on the session, because the sessions usually last maybe 1 to 2 hours. It just kind of depends on how many are there. But that's one of the things that I do monthly is those organizing sessions. The other virtual sessions are case by case, what they may need to have, but most of the time they're just like a one area kind of thing for the virtual organizing, because it won't work for most people to be able to try to do a full home organizing virtually.
I'm sure. That's really fascinating. I didn't know you had those monthly. Is there a set date and time for the monthly virtual sessions?
They vary from month to month. I haven't come up with a set date and time. I usually do one in the evening, and then maybe one midday.
Okay, so that you can catch everybody at different times.
Right. I can catch as many individuals as I can during those different times, and help them out with that area. And then I just, then I've given them enough information so that they can carry on and be able to, work on their linen closet with the things that we've worked on. So I'll help them through whatever the process is. And I've had people write me back, send me pictures and say, look what I did. I finished up. I took this picture just for you. So that's always a lot of fun. And I love helping people get to that point where they feel satisfied with, what they feel satisfied with what they've done. Sometimes it's just baby steps. I don't try to push people to do as much as I can do at one time. That's a lot. Not everybody has that kind of stamina. So I'm very careful to work with them where they are and work with how much they can work with, and then probably just a little bit more.
I love that. I love that. So, Corliss, if someone was interested in your services, what's the best way to contact you?
They can reach me they can go to my website at cluttercorrections.com. And there's a form that they can fill out, and that will come to me. They'll ask them a few questions and they can fill it out and they can get to me that way. Or they can call me at 301-310 7044.
Excellent. And you work the DMV area, Maryland?
I do work Maryland, DC, and Northern Virginia. Mhm.
Okay, great. Corliss, I'm really interested. I think the next time I have you on, I'm going to actually have you demonstrate that sheet. I mean, I know you've done it before, but I actually want to
Sure.
see you. It's just fascinating. You guys, it is really fascinating to watch your folded sheet. I am convinced. So if you can do a sheet, I'm going to challenge you to fold some other stuff. Are you up
That's
for the
fine.
challenge?
I'm up for the challenge. Bring it
All
on.
right, ladies. Okay, it has been a pleasure talking to you. It really has. And I'm definitely going to have you back. Okay.
Sounds great.
All
Thank you,
right.
Margot.
You take
Take,
care.
take care.
Bye.
Bye bye now.